Hey everyone, I'm making this video as opposed to writing a e-news message this month because I thought this would be a little different and maybe easier and quicker to listen to absorb a lot of information. So I realize you can't read this whiteboard, but I wanted to write down a few things to go over three main different programs and what components go into those programs to sort of formulate how we deliver. So the first is total health programs. That's what the majority of my clientele are after, right? They just want to be healthier and sort of get a little bit of everything, meaning some fat loss, some muscle gain, cardiovascular fitness, everything that essentially goes into helping us feel better and live better lives. So the first thing we wrote down was movement quality. That's exactly what it sounds like, just how well you move, which would include stability, flexibility, which the combination of those things generally is mobility. So how well you move, we obviously have to have the bulk of the training session and program be under muscle tension, primarily focusing on functional strength. So it's essentially applying tension in those movement patterns that we practice in the movement quality. And then we'll move into some work capacity stuff. And that's going to be some repetition things through either higher set repetitions, maybe a few more set volume type approaches. But we'll eventually get into some things that are going to be driven for metabolism, work capacity, as well as some heart rate work. So overall, it's kind of a general approach. It makes up most of what people need. After that, behind me is muscle building programs. So for individuals that are really focused, especially as we age, that want to take a block of time and say, look, I need to improve how much muscle I have on my frame. Well, it takes us a little bit of a different approach than just this total health program. So we have to spend a little bit more time under tension. Certainly strength is a portion of that, but with muscle building, you kind of move away from just the focus on pure strength and focus a little bit on, well, I need to stress the muscle a little bit differently if I'm trying to focus on growing. Set volume is going to be an important factor. So in a total health program, there are certain people that I have that can get away with one big strength training program or program day a week, and then the rest can be very, very small exercise bouts through the week. For muscle building, it generally is going to have to be that magic 2 to 3 times a week, maybe even up to 4 depending on their age. But for most of us that are 40 plus, it's going to be 2 to 3 times a week on the volume. And then we really focus on adequate rest, adequate nutrition, and stress management. So certainly stress management, nutrition, rest, all important in the total health program as well, but it becomes extra important when we're trying to build muscle. And then lastly, over here on this side, I have a fat loss program, just to kind of be the other side of muscle gain. So a lot of times what we might do through the course of a year is say, let's take 3 months, really focus on muscle building, and that's pretty short. You might want to even say 6 months of gaining muscle. That's the hard part. It lays on slowly. And then we're going to take 8 weeks, 2 months of really focusing on dropping body fat. And where that's going to come from is muscle tension / explosion, moving fast. The main goal is because we're going to try to save as much muscle as we possibly can in what we hopefully just built. Then we need to create heat, and how we're going to do that, of course I'm talking about internally, we're going to do that through intervals or circuit training, sleds, swings, sprints, again, depending on what our capabilities are, athletic capabilities are. We just want to really go hard and strong. So think the traditional fast-moving, hard sessions. And then lastly, I have nutrition and sleep. So nutrition, obviously, we have to be in a caloric deficit. We have to make sure our macros are appropriate, mostly the protein, to make sure we save as much muscle as possible. And I wrote down sleep in fat loss and rest in muscle building because it is a little different. So certainly sleep is important for all health, but it almost becomes an extra tool we can use in fat loss programs because of that hormone regulation. So anyway, kind of cool stuff on different things that we do when thinking about what the goals are for people. Shoot me any emails or questions that you have, thoughts that maybe this sparked, and we can have a conversation. Thanks.